Spurs got a new sponsor. So the Spurs getting a new sponsor, I wanted to talk about because I think it's a lot more important than people are giving it credit for. So the Spurs have a new sponsor that is on their jerseys. It's called Self Credit Union, or something like that. It's called Self. I don't know if the credit union is part of their name or not, but it's basically helping you build credit and everything like that. Now this has multiple impacts, which again is why I want to talk about it. So we no longer have frost on our jerseys. So Frost has done something we have done, which obviously isn't really released to the public because it's between businesses and different contracts and stuff like that. But either Frost didn't want to be connected with the Spurs anymore, or Frost didn't want to give us as much money as we needed, or something to where we lost them as our jersey sponsor. So Frost already has that diminished relationship with us. Then you have to also remember that we haven't really done much with HEB in a while either, which really disappoints me because I really like whenever the HEB and the Spurs do things together, whether it be their commercials, stuff at the games, whether they make those Spurs reusable bags that you use in the store, stuff like that. But Frost is also partnered with HEB, hence the reason why if you've ever been in an HEB, every ATM they use and every single HEB across Texas is a Frost ATM. And Frost and HEB have done multiple events and things like that together. Frost and HEB are also partnered, meaning that if the Spurs have a diminished relationship with Frost, they also have a diminished relationship with HEB, meaning that we could also lose some potential sponsor money or sponsored events with HEB as well. That's what's really concerning to me because, again, I love having HEB as a sponsor. I was hoping whenever they said we lost Frost that we would gain HEB back on our jerseys, but unfortunately that didn't happen. The other big thing is that Self is based in Austin. So I know that Clan the Spurs fan made a video about it, and he was saying don't overreact and everything, and there is no need to overreact about the Spurs relocating. The Spurs love San Antonio, and San Antonio loves the Spurs. Originally, we didn't, and I left this comment on Clan's video, but I'll say it here on stream. Those of you that know your history or have lived in San Antonio, there used to be a time before the New Orleans Pelicans had their own team that the Spurs didn't have enough money to stay in San Antonio, and they were looking to move. And they came out and said, "Hey, we're looking to move. We're looking to go to a city where we earn more money." And they were looking to move to New Orleans. It would have been the New Orleans Pelicans or the New Orleans Spurs before the New Orleans Pelicans, got their own team and became the New Orleans Pelicans. However, San Antonio actually did a poll and did an official voting ballot that asked if the residents of the county where this stadium resides in, if they would pay a tax in order to keep the Spurs inside San Antonio, which passed. Which means that we voted as a people saying that we love the Spurs enough to pay money out of our taxes for them to stay. And that money went to go build the AT&T Center when originally we had the Alamo Dome. And, I'm not sure if we still pay taxes to keep them in San Antonio, but either way, we paid a large amount of money to keep them in San Antonio because we want them in San Antonio. But there's been talks, there's been tweets, there's been everything about the Spurs playing more games in Austin to sort of get in that Austin revenue, generate an audience in Austin. We have the Austin G League Spurs over there. So, It worries me. I won't say it worries me too much because, again, you don't want to get overreacted or anything like that. But I love having the Spurs in San Antonio. I'm from the 210. I love being in a town or in a city that has a basketball team, and being able to say, I'm from San Antonio, therefore I am a Spurs fan. Um, and so if they move to Austin, it would greatly disappoint me. But I just think it's worth noting that that company is based in Austin, and then that also goes into the AT&T Center as well, which we just talked about. The AT&T Center is called the AT&T Center, obviously, because the AT&T pays a large amount of money for it. However, AT&T, which I've brought up before, did not renew their naming contract, which means that the name for the new stadium is sort of up in the air right now. Uh, we could either name it after another company if they decide to pay it enough, or it will just be Spurs Arena, San Antonio Center, something like that. But it really opens the door for what happens if we don't have the AT&T Center anymore. If we don't have a sponsor paying for that arena anymore, and if we don't have anybody paying for the AT&T Center anymore, we'll have to do either what we did before, which is create some sort of vote in order to keep the money and keep the revenue there that AT&T was previously giving us, or move to another town like Austin, where they might want to sponsor us in Austin, or we have more revenue ticket sales in Austin, and so on. Because either way, we have to make that money up somehow. So one of three things: either we get a new sponsor, we let the people in the city pay for it, or we move to a completely different city altogether. And that's why I wanted to bring up the sponsor, because again, it has a lot more butterfly effects than people give it credit for. And as a Spurs fan, it really concerned me. So